Hello class 9 students. We have almost come towards the end of this chapter, Great Expectations. And throughout the story, we learn about a little child, Pip. And Pip is, means the narrator. And Pip is an orphan, and Pip has come to a churchyard where to offer his respect to his dead parents and his brothers. Now we find that he encounters a very strange person, and by his appearance he is very fearful, and also from his appearance we can make out that he is a convict. That's a prisoner who has perhaps escaped because he has iron chains on his legs. Now this prisoner wants a file, that is a tool, which has cutting edges and means and food, and he wants that from this child Pip. And this he does means not only he asks these things from the boy, but this person, this convict, constantly scares this boy to the maximum extent. And in the last video we find that he is to make himself doubly sure that this boy doesn't deviate from his words. He tells that there is another person who is there, who is watching everything, and who is a very dangerous person compared to him, and who can get at a child no matter how secure the child is. And it is becoming very difficult for this convict to control him, because this person is always wants to harm little children, and now is the as he wants to harm Pip. And then Pip promised, he made Pip take an oath that he will bring these things. And then Pip said good night, and good night, that is he faltered, that is his not only means he stumbled and faltering also, in the sense that words were not coming out very spontaneously. In that way he was just speaking very hesitantly. Much of that, said he, and there we stopped. Much of that, said he, glancing about him over the cold wet flat. I wish I was a frog or an eel. He said, means he didn't reply in that way. He said, okay, much of that, okay, good night to you. And Pip said that I wish that I was a frog, so that I can hop or I can swim about and go, means run away from this place. At the same time, he hugged his shuddering body. Shuddering means, remember, this place was very cold and the wind was blowing very hard. So he hugged himself, okay, so that he does not feel so cold, in both arms, clasping himself as if to hold himself together, and limped towards the low. Limp means, when you have some problem in your legs, and you just walk with in a slow manner. So that's a limp. That is limp towards the low church wall. So he just dragged himself and he took him to the low church wall. As I saw him picking his way among the nettles. Picking his way means walking carefully among the nettles. Nettles, we have already come across this plant, or herbaceous plant. And among the brambles, these are also thorny plants that bound the green mounds. So we have, in the very beginning, we have seen that when Pip looked around, he saw the dikes, the mounds, and the gates, all these things. Bound the green mounds, he looked in my young eyes as if he were eluding the hands of dead people, stretching up cautiously out of their graves to get a twist upon his ankle and pull him in. So he was walking very carefully, and he was looking back and seeing whether Pip has gone or not. And Pip was also looking at this person. When he came to the low church wall, so he was limping and going to the low church wall, making his way through those nettles and brambles and the graves. He was stepping very carefully, as though he was escaping those dead people also. And then when he came to the low church wall, he got over it. He just crossed it, okay, like a man whose legs were numbed. Numb means when you lose any kind of feeling, and numb and stiff. When you touch ice, okay, your finger becomes numb. That is, you lose all sensation. So that is the numb and stiff. And when I turned around and then turned around to look for me, so this person was constantly looking at the back to see what Pip was doing. When I saw him turning, I set my face towards home. So when he saw this man was turning around, okay, means almost they could become, means Pip was also watching him. So when he saw that this man was turning around in that way, so as to means when Pip saw that this man was turning around, and now he would see that Pip was also watching him, I set my face towards home, and made the best use of my legs. So made my face means I turned round and I just went away. Went my best use of my legs means I ran and went home. But presently I looked over my shoulder and saw him going towards the river, still hugging him. So looked over my shoulder means just turning a little and seeing back. So he saw that this man was going towards the river again. Still he was clasping himself, hugging himself tightly, and picking his way with his sore feet, sore means painful feet, among the great stones, and dropped into the marshes here and there for stepping places when the rains were heavy on the or the tide was in. So there were stones, and he was carefully placing his feet, just as during rainy season when it rains a lot, we say the places become waterlogged, so we place kind of stones or bricks to use it as stepping stones. So he also carefully placed his feet on those stones to make his way back to where he came from. So we stop here today. We'll do the last part in the next class. Thank you.